Hi guys, this is Namkraft. Welcome to this is Starcraft English commentary, another guaranteed to be epic game. That's gonna unroll a little bit faster for those who supported me in the last 2 days. If you have not just watched this game a little bit consequentially, we will have a rematch of the ASL Season 19 final. This is Best, this is Soulkey. We all know how that went, how that unfolded the last time these two players met. Let's see if Best is gonna have a chance to have some kind of a revenge here, as well as get ready for the next season. ASL Season 20 is looming around the corner about 4 months from now. No, that's not really looming around the corner, but still, it is around the corner. And let's see how these two players are going to be performing. We're going to be looking at the map Dominator. This is the map you can see. It's the bottom on the screen, and the win rates for the rounds of ASS in the 19 maps is as follows. For Protoss player, the best map is Deja Vu. The least terrible map is Deja Vu, and Dominator is a little bit down the line, 45.1% win rate. So let's see how Best is going to be performing here. We're looking at a 3-player map, and Best is going to be located at the 11 o'clock position in the purple color, and Soulkey is down here in the 7 o'clock position in the orange color. If you have checked the ELO scores recently this week as to find out what these players are going to be doing, you're going to be very surprised, very amazed at the performances of some of these players. First of all, here is going to be the top 10 Broodwar players this week. Let me just quickly show you where they are standing exactly. Give me a second. This is a bit out of the way. There it is. So as you can see, we have number 1 is going to be Snow, number 2 is Soulkey, number 3 is Flash, and number 4 is Light. Best is all the way down at number 10. So he is not looking very good this time around. So anyways, let's see how these two players are going to be performing. Let me just remove that away from you so you know. And we're going to be having a pylon blocking here from Best. He just want to apply a little bit of pressure, make sure that the hatcheries cannot be easily planted behind this. His Nexus is delayed as well, so keep that in mind. Best's Nexus is delayed. We have, I think, what is it, 5 Zerglings going to that area, and 1 Zergling trying to chase this probe. This probe once again comes out. Will it pull out another mana pylon? Looks like Best is not going to do that. He is going to be just allowing that. No, he comes back, and he was almost about to get that mana pylon down, but it's not meant to be, so the game is going to go on from here. Let's see what Soulkey is going to be looking forward to. If you look at the positioning of the players, here is Best, and he is very susceptible to Mutalisk and drops. Mutalisk in the early game and drops in the mid to late game, because they are both these main and expansions are equal distance to Soulkey's bases. Whereas for Soulkey, he can easily defend against any kind of drops, because this forward base here at the 9 o'clock position provide a natural barricade against any kind of drops. Because if you're gonna go and, for example, if Best wanted to reach the expansion as well as the main, he will have to go through this base. Otherwise, you have to take a long way, and of course, in the early game, it's not so easily. You don't have that much time to send your shuttles along this path. But if you survive until mid to late game, where you start to take these areas, then drops become a bit more of a viable strategy. But for now, we're seeing that Soulkey is going to be coming down with a 3-hatch Hydralisk build. This is, of course, the easiest build. By the way, if you've not yet realized, this is part of the DPL series, so these guys are duking out against each other for real money here, not for fake money. And just for your information, the lineup today on Best's team, we have Best, Bisu, Flash, and Royal. And on the other side, we have Shadow, Rush, Soma, and Soulkey. A little bit of a more stacked lineup for Best's team, but of course, Soulkey can carry the weight of his teammates on the shoulders. I might not cast some of the other games, because I only cast the best ones in these guaranteed to be epic sequences of games. So, by the way, if you bought me coffee in the last 30 days, you will watch this video a little bit earlier and without YouTube ads in a private playlist. If you have not, just watch it when the videos are released. So that's cool. Anyways, we have the Zelle coming out from Best, because in the early stage, you can easily send a lot along this way, and of course he's going to abuse the terrain and start to attack the Zerglings. We have another probe coming out as well to support, and looks like now this Zelle is taking out so many Zerglings. And why the Zerglings attacking one by one? Best gets the last Zealot, and now it's gonna be very, very careful. The drone comes out. One drone down, maybe two drone down, two drones down. This is huge. This is ridiculously huge. And Soulkey, the reigning ASL champion, is kind of should be pissed here because 22 supply frame, best 34, losing two drones to that attack. But of course, Hydralisk bus is on the way. So let's see how the two players are gonna be performing. The Stargate comes out. Of course, this Stargate is just going to be providing some vital information. Two more additional Zealot are making their ways across the map here. And if they get any more drones, and the Hydro bus will be completely severed or hampered. Basically, anyways, these the Zerglings have to return because there is a threat of attack. And it looks like Hydras have started to make themselves known. The drones will have to run here. Let's go by a little bit more time. And Hydras have not yet revealed themselves. Of course, we have two cannons. So two cannons is going to be just enough. This probe can now see that there's going to be some Hydras moving across the map. And we will have the first Corsair. The Corsair's job is to get this Overlord. He needs to try to get it right now. He's gonna just trying to check the middle center because he thinks Overlord might be run here. But it looks like it was not the case. This other Zealot is gonna have to go and hide. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be better for him to actually just start to engage. Look at the drone count for Soulkey, not very high. He's gonna start to move across the map. The Hydras will have to make a decision whether to go for the Corsair or go for the front attack. Looks like they will go for the Corsair. The Corsair is not able to snipe that Overlord, so we're going to be having, you know, no more threats of Dark Templar for the timing. A single Zealot coming out to start to attack this way. This way's got nothing, by the way, so this Zealot is just buying time and providing some information for Bess, and he's going to try to go towards the main. He want to make sure there are no additional hatcheries. Indeed, there are no additional hatcheries, which means there's going to be a lot of Hydras along the way, or maybe a lot of drones. He goes all the way inside the main. He's going so far, and now we're seeing a lot of Hydras coming out. There's just 3 Zealot, and it might not be enough. This single Corsair is being chased around by 2 Hydras, so the bulk of the Hydras is actually not yet getting involved in the equation, and Bess has pretty goddamn good idea as to what the enemy is doing. He's gonna have to dance around here. One attack on the first cannon, another attack on the other cannon. It just morphed and looks like the Hydras push back, but this right side is slightly weak. He's gonna be super careful. This cannon needs to complete now. And that's why the probe's gonna have to come out and protect. We're gonna be having a second pylon just to cover for it. And more Hydras coming from all sides. So this right side is really weak. There's gonna be a dance to attack this right side because Soulkey knows if we can just take out this cannon, and these two will be very, very weak. And actually, this cannon's gonna complete. Let's see. It looks like Best gonna pull back. And actually, the number of Hydras is not very high, but we have now 4 Zealot. There's just enough to hold probes. Maybe we need to get put that cannon on the right side is gone. Keep that in mind. Zealot's gonna try to attack. But looks like last of the Hydras have been pushed back, and these 2 cannons gonna have to come up now. Looks like Hydra's gonna come out with the cannons range, outrange the Hydras. That's ridiculous, but more Hydras gonna be coming. The Zealot, they need to have speed right now. Right off the bat, this game is insane. It's like a repeat of the last ASL season final. Hydra's gonna come in. There are only 3 cannons. Some of the Zealot's actually not getting involved in the equation, and now that is a cannon that is within reach of this right side. So Hydra's gonna dive in. He wants to snipe. The cannon's gonna get cancelled. Very, very nicely done by Best to not lose any money. And looks like another cannon's gonna get remade. This pylon's gonna get destroyed. But behind this, looks like the cannon wall is looking very good. Zealot need to actually come in right now. Looks like there are no openings, and that cannon will complete, which means this right side will be covered. It looks like Soulkey's gonna have to retreat supply-wise. Best is kind of supply block 54, and Soulkey's got a 40. If you look at Soulkey's expansion, the third base have got no drones. No drones! The game might end right here. Looks like the Hydras decide to come in. Another cannon gets forced to get cancelled. This cannon is providing some vital coverage. Looks like Best may need to make another cannon here. I think I just saw Zealot with leg there. I think Zealots have speed, so they will be very, very strong. And Best is treading carefully. He wants to make sure he doesn't overmake cannons because he want to get ready for the next part of the game. And so he's gonna have to make Templar Archive. He's gonna have to upgrade the Forge. Both the Forge are upgrading very, very nicely. He needs to send more probes to the gas, and he's cancelled one of his cannons. He thinks that his amount of Zealot is just enough to hold. He's gotta tread very carefully. As for Soulkey, he also needs to make some decisions as well. Looks like he's remade some drones. These Hydras are not diving in right now. Is that a robo in the corner? I'm not so sure. A lot of probes are mining very nicely when they're having more pylon. And now Zealot, of course, have like a Templar Archive is being protected by the cannon, so that Templar Archive will not be sniped for the rest of this game. Well, I guess at some point in the future, Best gotta have to open up his cannons to leave his base. So we shall see what is going to be the situation with that. For the time being, Soulkey is going to drone up. Supply is in favor of Best. 74 versus 48. He's going to move across the map. Where's the Corsair? There it is. You need to get involved in the equation. It comes right. The Hydras might decide to snipe. The Corsair, looks like the Corsair is finally allowed to take that Overlord. And there's so many bruised Hydras, but looks like the Zealots are not able to find them for the time being. They're going to start to chase around. Look at these Hydras, all bruised, all super damaged. And now they're going to come around and try to find someone. And Zealots going to try to kind of eclipse them and catch them on the other side of the map. Let's see, we might have some Dark Temple coming out and massive Zealot coming towards the other side of the map. We don't have any Sunkens right now. If the Zealot can catch the Hydras before they reach home, that's going to be great. Looks like best catch him on this high ground. He marches towards Soulkey's expansion. There are very few defense structures here. If Zealot can get all the way into the main, that's going to be some problem. Do we have some Lurker muffing? I don't see Lurker muffing. The rest of the Zealots going to get involved here. The drones are blocking nicely. There's going to be some Overlords coming, and I think it looks like the number of Hydras over on this side of the map is too high for Best to handle. He's going to execute some drones, so he's get a lot of drones destroyed, but at the end of the day, looks like Soulkey's able to hold his 72 supply for Best, and Soulkey's about 38. But wasting a lot of Zealots. I'm not so sure if that was worth the risk here, and there's gonna be some Archon because Best has seen that the number of hatchery do not justify what Soulkey's doing. I want to check inside of Best's bay to see exactly the state of thinking, but for the time being, massive Hydras moving across. Even this amount of Hydras will not be able to cover for the front side because there are way too many cannons as well as 3 High Templars, and we shall see what is going to be the next move here. The Hydras are not diving in. We're going to be having okay, there's going to be 4 Hydras and there's a spy. So Best has played blindly. He says, I know you're going to be having... oh my god, the Corsair getting sniped. Is this a deliberate attempt by Best to fool the enemy into thinking that I don't have any air? What the heck happened there? Look at the Storm. The Storm destroyed a group of Hydras, and now Soulkey's supply is down to 60. What is it? 42. Best has got a 68 supply. He's going to send some Zealot towards the third base, but I think there's enough defenses on this other side. So we shall see what is going to... Look at this. Very few drone. Soulkey's economy is not very good. The Zealot's going to engage here, but keep in mind, Best... Soulkey is the king of low econ. He's so good with playing with very few amount of drones and just making a crap tons of forces and using his superior micro to crush his enemies. That is what his his forte, his trademark, his signature is. What is this yellow dot? Is it a Zerling or an Overlord or something like that? I think this is it. It is a Hydra, one of the weaker Hydras in the previous part of the game. But anyways, there is going to be some mutants coming out here. This cannon have been opened up for the way of the Dragoons to move out later. I think these might be muters because, yeah, Templar, Archive, a Spy is done. And for now, we have 5 mutants that are going to start to move across the map. They will engage. Like I tell you, in the early to mid stage of the game, Best is superior to Mutalisk attack. Dragoons are in waiting. And that's going to be a nice Archon. He actually doesn't need to have Storm on it. Just have a normal move. But this is not the full extent of the Mutualist attack here. Just 5 mutants. He's going to make more. He's going to make a lot more. But of course, this is not without consequences. This will be very taxing on the Zerg player to lose those many mutants and then having to mate more, which means his ground forces will be a little bit delayed. His tech will be delayed. For the timing, we're seeing some mutants making their way across the map, and there are 2 cannons in the main, so it's not like Best has got 0 defenses or something like that. This Archon is gonna have to hide in the corner. For the time, we're gonna be having a small engagement, and Best is gonna get ready to take this base. He moves on this high ground. Hydra's gonna have to get pushed back here. 5 Mutalists is enough to one-shot the Storms or not, the High Templars or not. I'm not so sure. But anyways, this Mutalisk is going to move back. Let's take a look also at the 1 o'clock position where 1 Hydras is going to try to stop this base from coming up. But a single Zealot is able to drive it away. So the game will continue to go from here. It looks like this Mutalisk is going to try to go inside of Best's main. Best has got, only 2 cannons. And of course, the third base is not yet up, so he will not be able to transfer his probes right now. The Mutalisk dive in, and Archon is out of position. Dragoons have to return home right now. Mutalisk coming to take some cannons. The probes to run away. And indeed, these probes will have to run towards the third base. The Dragoons going to try to attack. Of course, the Archon don't have enough energy. Look at this right side of Hydra's waiting to dive in. There's going to be some major attack, killing a lot of probes. The Archon's going to have to wait patiently because it doesn't have enough energy. At the last minute, looks like the enemy is gonna escape now. Hydra's to get on this high ground. Best is out of position. Oh my god, Soulkey, like I told you, is the king of maneuverability. He's so good with just getting ready with very small amount of forces, and now Best is gonna decide to take this high ground. And Soulkey was just a tick too late. If he was there about 5 seconds ago, he would have gained the high ground advantage, but now he's getting pushed back. The Archon, by the way, now possibly have energy. Anyways, these 11 mutants are doing great shots, and a lot of the units for Best out of position. Like the Zealots don't need to be in here. This is exactly what happened when you have to maneuver so many units. But now the 10 Mutalists are very, very bruised, and Soulkey is still on 3 bases. Keep that in mind. Supply-wise, Soulkey has regained a little bit of a supply differential. He's got 77 out of 77, and Best has got only 116. There's going to be more forces. Finally, this Archon will have enough energy. I'm not so sure if it will be able to actually cast something, because it takes so long to get inside this area. And look at how clumsy are the units for Best. He doesn't need Zealots getting mixed with the group, but because he's grouping his enemy together, it's very, very hard to control them. Anyways, Mewtwo is going to be coming once again, and Dragoons are attacking nicely, but look at how long it takes to get those units into position, and that Archon cannot cast too prematurely, because those Mewtwo are actually not going to dive in. They will dive in looking for some openings. The Archons are waiting outside, and the cannons is actually not at the right end. Both of these players are just waiting, and actually Soulkey is just buying time. He just want to buy time so that he can actually all right, premature storm there. Look at the Soulkey just toying around with Best. He's using only 3 mutas. Only 3 mutas and not more. Dragoon's gonna have to attack here. He will attack greatly, and there's a storm to kill up all of the 3 mutas, as well as save that High Templars, and more mutas come in. There's gonna be 5 mutas, but there's gonna be a cannon and a High Templar in the back. He's getting ready to cast, no, he doesn't have enough energy. There's gonna be some mutas attacking on the drone line, on the probe line, excuse me, because he wants to stop that down. It's great. Some Hydralisk in the middle is gonna get attacked. This game is so tactical, so deliberate, so careful from both of these players. These Mutalists once again dive in. There might be another storm. Looks like he needs to pay attention. Soulkey is a little bit too late. He loses, I think, about 3 High Templars to that attack, and now Best's 3-base economy is looking very strong. But look at how many Mutalists Soulkey has made. He's abusing the map. This is the reason why we're seeing this map, and he's making a lot of sunken because he's anticipating a base trade. He comes in, he would try to snipe as many gateways. Well, I guess not really gateway, just one gateway he would snipe, but the other gateway he would just let it complete. It looks like Best comes out. Soulkey said, you know what? Come and take my base. I will come out and take your other bases. There's gonna be some storm. Maybe it's gotta be enough here. Looks like that last second looks like only 5 meters remains. What about this base here? There's gonna be some pylon wall to block. It's gonna be impossible for the Hydras to get on there, but looks like at the last minute, Best is moving out with a large amount of mutations. Do we have Guardians? Why not? And I'm very, very surprised at the fact that Best just doesn't make any Corsair at all. I mean, he's got like enough force, and these mutations have found another opening on this other side of the map. Soulkey is gonna be losing some Hydras here, and Best need to come out and start to snipe some mutations. He does snipe yet another one. There's gonna be just 4 mutations remaining here, so that's that. But these mutations are abusing the map like crazy. Do we have an Archon casting yet another Maelstrom or not? I'm not so sure. There's gonna be 11 mutations. Freaking mutations game, insane. And Dragoons are going to try very, very best to hold the area here. Without the Archon, it's going to be impossible. High Templars, we need to cast a storm. Not able to cast any storm, losing 2 High Templars. And what is happening everywhere? It looks like Soulkey's destroying Best, dismantling Best, but Best is huge ground army. Is going to be able to do something or not? I'm not so sure. He's moving towards this area. Need to make a decision to do something right now. He's got a lot of forces. Actually, the Archon is within the group as well. This huge attack is going to have to force to make some huge damages. Zealots are moving across the map. There's going to have some storms here. Dragoons need to actually manually move forward. There's going to be a grey storm that hits some of the Hydras, but not all. If Best can breach this area, he's going to have high ground advantage. He kills some forces. Dragoon's going to attack him, but there's way too many sunken. There's a lot of sunken. There's going to be some Hydras waiting on the backside as well. And Mutalists are returning. Best plow forward. He's going to be able to get some more sunken. He needs to cast another storm. He casts a grey storm. There's going to be reinforcement from the back. Archon does one good Maelstrom. He needs to wait for the clump of the Mutalists to arrive to do another Maelstrom. Best clears out the front door of Soulkey, but there's still a lot more. He plow forward, and look at this Mutalists just spreading themselves out and doing so much damage. This is the mark of a true championship, or true champion. I'm sorry, just didn't say the words correctly. Looks like Soulkey's decided to, he's making some kind of hesitation. He's wondering whether he should come back and save his base, or should I just go and attack Best's army? Looks like at the last place he decided it's going to be better to actually do a base trade here. He comes forward, a lot of Dragoons attacking randomly. Hydras might decide to attack front door, and look at this gas, and finally these 3 mutants gonna die. So the attack, and looks like Best was almost short of losing his 2 geyser, but at the last minute he gets his 2 guys, and now he will lose a geyser. So it looks like Soulkey is abusing the map like crazy. Look at this huge amount of Hydras coming from the 3rd base, and as well as a hidden expansion. This is genius. There's just so much forces, but Best comes out with the rest of his forces, and Best gonna have to return with some of his forces as well. And Soulkey's gonna come on the other side. There's about 2 or 3 cannons. Best is returning because this map is getting abused by the ASL champion. He is so good, but abusing this map. Hydra's gonna get on the high ground as well as some Mutalisk. The rest of Best's forces is gonna try to return here. There's gonna be a hold on this here. Probes gonna have to block very, very carefully. There's gonna be Dragoons, a High Templar. Don't cast a storm on their probes. The probes line for Best is completely thin. He's gonna be very careful. He's waiting. He doesn't want to cast a storm on the Mutas because I will hit all of the props as well. Where these Hydralisks gonna cast a storm on the Hydralisks on the low ground, that's gonna be a better idea. And there's gonna be a snipe on that unit, which is gonna be great. Best is gonna try to destroy the hatchery, which means Soulkey will not have any more mining. He's gonna be down to 2 bases, and Best to have 3 bases. But Best's probe is very, very thin, guys. This is what happened when you decided not to go for courses. There's gonna be a maelstrom incoming. I'm not so sure. Best to spread his observers out and see the various areas. Gonna be some nice attacks, but there's not gonna be enough forces for Soulkey. Oh my god, the Mutants gonna get caught in the middle. There's gonna be a storm. Good storm to preemptively destroy some of the Mutants. But at the last minute, those Mutants are still alive and they're still kicking. We have a hidden base, like I tell you. This is the mark of a champion, going for a hidden base when your enemy doesn't expect it. We have 2 cannons coming up. I'm not so sure. Best is, Soulkey's gotta, yeah, he will come in and he was easily busted. It's gonna be very, very hard for Best to do anything about that. He come in, he sniped the first cannon, he sniped the second cannon. There's gonna be some engagement in the middle map here. These Hydra's gonna get completely trapped. Soulkey is not paying attention. He's also losing a lot of forces. Best is running out of money. Best has found another base that Soulkey has made. So now Soulkey is temporarily down to just 2 bases. I'm not so sure if the main base is gonna get recreated, but GG from Soulkey. This game was won by Best. If you enjoyed this, bye. Bye bye.